Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Ohio X virtual event, a webinar today, where we are going to dive into driving innovation and commercialization at The Ohio State University, from research to market impact. Tech commercialization is certainly a huge topic amongst the tech industry, the tech community, entrepreneurs, and Ohio is absolutely blessed to have a plethora of fantastic research organizations, universities, and researchers in our state. Ohio State certainly being the flagship and the lead of them. And so we are so thrilled to welcome you today to our conversation that is presented by the Ohio Innovation Exchange. And you'll hear a little bit more about them as we go on. I just want to thank everyone for joining and attending. My name is Chris Berry. I'm the president and CEO of Ohio X. We are a statewide nonprofit technology and innovation organization, and our work is around connecting, promoting, and advocating for the growth and advancement of Ohio's tech sector. And certainly, universities and research and commercialization is a huge part of that. And so today, as we are getting going, our conversation, as I mentioned, will be welcomed by me as Ohio X, as we are going to host this today. Then we'll have an overview and demo of the Ohio Innovation Exchange, and a fantastic resource that is bringing universities together, and a lot of the talent, the resources, the equipment, the expertise on our campuses across the state, and a real resource for businesses especially. So I'd really encourage all of our industry partners to check them out. And then we'll have our presentation about driving innovation and commercialization at Ohio State. And so we're just so thrilled to welcome you all today. One reminder that please feel free to submit questions throughout the webinar via the chat. And so that's a bit about how we will communicate. And so during the conversation, you can put it in the chat for all to see, our speakers to see, or if you care to, you're certainly welcome to DM me at any point, because towards the end, we'll collect a bunch of them and then have a bit of Q&A. And so before we start, I want to point out a few different resources for you: ohioinnovationexchange.org, where you can find information. Again, you'll see a little bit about that in a second. And then ohiox.org. And we also in the chat welcome you to share your name, your organization, and where you're coming from today. And so I'm now really thrilled to welcome our partner in helping make this possible. And I love how already we're seeing a couple folks in the chat. So thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Michael, for submitting your question or submitting your hellos. I'll hop in there as soon as I am done. But really want to welcome our partner at the Ohio Innovation Exchange. Jeff Agnoli is going to share a little bit about the work that they are doing, the resource they have built. And Jeff, it's been really neat and fun to see this get going, because when we first started working together, you did not have as many logos as you have up behind you today. So it's been a real work in progress, which has been fantastic. And I love to see all the momentum that you are building with team.
Thank you so much, Chris. I really appreciate the partnership, and congratulations to you and your organization. It's an absolutely desperately needed resource in the state of Ohio to support our technology community. So as Chris said, I'm Jeff Agnoli. I'm a senior liaison in the Office of Corporate Partnerships at Ohio State, but my full-time job is supporting the Ohio Innovation Exchange, which is an initiative of the Ohio Department of Higher Education. Been working this project for probably almost 10 years now, but in my current role, more full-time. And part of that includes recruiting other university partners throughout the state. And we're excited to announce that University of Toledo and Bowling Green will be joining us very soon. So watch to see that northwest corner of the state be represented very soon. But it's 10 plus universities, probably 12 or 13 by the summer, and lots of data about faculty experts, research, equipment and services, and of course, licensing or patent opportunities. So what I'm going to do is just share my screen for just 1 or 2 minutes, and then we're going to turn everything over to my colleague at Ohio State. So to get to the Ohio Innovation Exchange, it's just simply ohioinnovationexchange.org. I recommend that you bookmark this site, because after today, I think you'll see the value of this tool. It is a unique resource in the state of Ohio, and actually nationally. There are very few coalition or state-based collections of data that are set up this way. It's also known as a research information management system. I just came back from a trip in the European Union, where they're called current research information systems, and they're mandated by the European Union that these tools are available so people can access one another's expertise. You'll see their main resource data set is a faculty expertise database, where you can look at publications, grants data, research networks, as well as a brief bio of the kind of work they do. That's across all our partner universities. We have equipment data that includes centers, institutes, certifications, training opportunities, research equipment, and so on. And then the last set, which is our focus today, is patent data. And so what I'd like to do, rather than put a search in this database, I have another window open here. This is what would open up when you click on the patents data. I've already started with a search on the term sensor, since that's one of the topics that our guest will be talking about today. On the left-hand side, you have a tremendous amount of filters that you can use to filter the data. We currently populate the last 10 years of data of patent opportunities. So you could limit that to the last couple of years just by clicking on a button here. You can look at the assignees. Since we're talking about Ohio State's technologies, you could limit it to just those patents that are found at Ohio State. Of course, there are other databases where you can find these data, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, the Technology Licensing Office at each institution. But it's a great first step when you're just kind of surveying the marketplace of technology and innovation to kind of use this tool. In addition to keywords and information, as you load the data, it builds a query. And this custom URL at the top is something that you can save or share with your colleagues. I'm going to go ahead and load a particular funding or a particular patent opportunity just to show you what the record looks like. If you're familiar in this space of patent opportunities, you'll see the sort of the progeny or any related patents, sister patents, that kind of thing, the family of patents. You can also click the share link and share the patent with your colleagues to market them and or to ask more questions. So the database is free to use. It's a service of the Ohio Department of Higher Ed. You just click on that main logo to go back to the home page. You can learn all about our initiative and how we are basically trying to grow the innovation ecosystem in Ohio. The tool is just one of many tools that exist across the landscape. We like to think of ourselves as the early deal flow phase of innovation. So when people are just trying to acquire ideas and opportunities, you can also contact any of our university partners. We have liaisons listed for each of our campuses. These individuals are well versed with the resources and the research portfolio that exists at each campus, and they will get you connected if you'd rather go that route. So search on your own, find the information you're looking for, connect with one of our liaisons, or you can also reach out directly to our faculty. So with that, let me turn it over to my colleague Mandana Ashuri from Ohio State's Technology Licensing Office. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Jeff and Chris. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you, and I really appreciate that you spend your time this afternoon with us. So I'm going to share my screen here to start my presentation. However, sorry, I shared the wrong one. So meanwhile, I would like to just a little talk about myself. My name is Mandana Ashuri. I'm a Associate Director for Licensing and Business Development. Just to make sure you have my screen right now, right?
We cannot see your screen. You stopped sharing after the first one. So if you don't mind
Oh,
trying.
Okay. Yeah, one more try here.
Sorry. We practiced this before this session. Oh. Just let me see what happened here. Okay. It seems I just closed my screen. So as I've mentioned, my name is Mandana Ashuri, and currently I'm the Associate Director for Licensing and Business Development with the Ohio State University. I'm a chemical engineer by trade, and during past 28 years, I spent my time half in industry and half in tech transfer. So I worked for oil and gas industry for over 14 years before switching my profession to be a tech transfer officer, starting from the University of Texas at Austin. I think you have my screen right now, right?
Yes, we can see
Yes, we
everything.
do.
Okay.
Good.
Perfect. So as I were mentioning, I started my work from the University of Texas at Austin, and then I worked for the Colorado State University, and here Ohio State University is the third university that I work as a licensing officer. So today I'm gonna share with you a little bit about our work in Ohio State University Innovation and Commercialization Office. So who we are, as I told you, we are part of the Innovation and Commercialization Office at The Ohio State University, which is a unit within the Enterprise for Research, Innovation, and Knowledge, and we call it ERIC. Basically, ERIC is the research and innovation arm of the Ohio State University. So if you like to know more about what we do in innovation and commercialization, you can look at this website, oid.osu.edu, and to see more and learn more about what we are doing in our office. And so what we do exactly, so we are the bridge between whatever is happening inside the university and the market and making impact globally, basically. So it doesn't matter which university you are in. It's so as I've mentioned, I've been in 3 different universities in 3 different states inside the United States of America, and we have done the same no matter where we are. So everything starts from the research inside the university. So we get funding, we propose project, we do innovative research, everything inside the university. And in university like Ohio State University that has almost $1.5 billion research expenditure, it's a lot is going on inside the university in different aspects, in different area of the technology. So everything is happening here inside the university, and the research and the innovative work that is created inside the university will come to our office, as we call it, invention disclosure. So when we say invention, it doesn't mean just the device. It can be, for sure, invention usually is a device, but it can be a device, it can be a concept, it can be a material, it can be a process, it can be an algorithm, it can be a software, whatever that is a creative work from the university. So that comes to our office or any tech transfer office as an invention disclosure. Then our job inside the Innovation and Commercialization Office is, first of all, assessing that technology and evaluating the technology. How novel is the technology? What are the applications of the technology? Where we can use it? When we can use it? All those type of assessment are being done inside our office by our licensing officers. So then we will decide to protect the intellectual property and the IP that has been generated inside the university, because we don't want the commercial entities just took our ideas and our creative work inside the university and use it in their products and commercialize it without paying back to the university. So the best way to prevent that is protecting the IP. So IP protection has different type of we do have different type of the IP protection. One obvious one is patenting. The other one is we can do the trade secret, we can do trademark, we can just register for the copyright. So all those type of protection are available for the IP. In parallel to the IP protection, we do marketing and commercialization steps. So based on the nature of the technology and that creative work, we either can market the technology to existing industry partner who already have such product and they need to enhance and develop their technology and product, or they can add a new product to their existing line of products. So that's one way of marketing the technology. The other way is forming startup companies. So startup companies are a good way for taking the early stage technology from whatever technology readiness level that they are in the lab or bench section to the pilot scale or even the full commercial product or service. Again, it depends on the nature of the technology. We advocate for both type of the commercialization here in the Innovation and Commercialization Office. So then after we decided what type of technology and what type of commercialization we are doing, then we do the licensing. Again, this is the part that we do inside our office. We do the negotiation. We do the negotiation of the business terms, financial terms, and also with the help of our legal team in the Office of Legal Affairs, we take care of the contractual language if needed, if there is a negotiation needed for that. After the licensing the technology, we don't say our licensees that, okay, you license our technology, you go on your way. It's not like that. We continue our support to our licensees because we know our technology needs more development, needs more specification. It needs to be tailored to a specific product that the licensee is going to develop. So we continue that support through different mechanisms through the university that I will go through a couple of them later in my talk today. So after we have the commercial developed product, then that's the time to make the impact into the market and into the society. And some of of our product they are making, they are helping healthcare, environmental resources, the other type of the making life easier and building a better life for everyone and for the next generations. So, and who is this talk today basically? I would like to address different type of the different type of audience today, from our inventors and innovators to the other institution, industry partners, entrepreneurs and business leaders and investors, because whatever that we generate inside the university, they are coming from a complex partnership and collaborative interaction. So for inventors, for institution, industry, and the other sectors of items, we are here to connect everything together. So that's the opportunity that I'm very appreciative of having that today. So I want to go through the Ohio State University Innovation Commercialization portfolio, but as I've mentioned, Ohio State University has a huge research expenditures. It's almost $1.5 billion. And we get each year almost 400 invention disclosures. That means a lot. So our portfolio is huge. But here, I just want to mention a couple of technology that are suitable for the direct licensing to the existing companies and industry partners. And then I will mention a couple of technologies that they were very successfully developed through the startup companies formed for commercialization of Ohio State University technology. So I'm going to start with so in left-hand side of my screen, you see the clean energy technology licensed by Babcock and Wilcox in 2021. You may heard about this in news, different type of news, and I took this picture from their website. It is publicly available. And this one is about a technology that uses the different type of the fossil fuels that are already existed and we all use for different type of energy generation, specifically for electricity. So like biomass, biogas, natural gas, coal, petroleum, all the other type of fossil fuels. So this specific technology basically do the combustion without burning the fuel. So through this chemical looping technology, the CO2 will be isolated from the combustion process here. And the output of this process, basically without burning the fuel, without making any smoke, making any pollutant to the environment, we can generate hydrogen, steam, electricity, and syngas. So Babcock and Wilcox licensed this technology, but down the road from 2021 till now, and it will be continued for next couple of years, is Ohio State University innovator Dr. L.S. Fan and his lab. They are working very closely with the Babcock and Wilcox to make sure that the technology is going to market fully developed and very efficient. So Babcock and Wilcox, they continue sponsor research inside the university, and Dr. Fan's lab helped them to develop the technology, to do the design for them. All this type of collaboration and engagement makes this the whole idea of the tech commercialization happen. So that's the technology that we have already licensed. The other technology that I'm going to talk about today is the membrane CO2 capture technology. So this technology is very suitable for point source emission resources, like the power plant, like chemical the technologies, or the other thing is like cement industry or petrochemical industry. They all have their big chimneys with the flue gases that they just pollute the environment and the atmosphere. So this membrane technology has the capacity to absorb the CO2 from those point source pollution kind of resources, basically, and help to absorb the CO2 and isolate CO2. And the membrane technology is very low cost, very efficient. And so that's the technology that DOE right now is spending money on, that not only for Ohio State University, but also for the other universities. And this is the collaborative research between Ohio State University, a couple of other institutions, as well as the industry partners. So these are the two technologies that I just picked to give you an example. And then I want to go through the two technologies that we had very successful startups in Ohio State University. The first one, the right side one, is the technology that we licensed in 2015 to the company that was formed with the name of Nikola Lab. But later, when they raise more money and they get their product to the market and they grow, they rebrand it to Asset Watch. So if you look at for the Asset Watch, you will find the company and how they are working, they are growing, they raise money. So they are doing very well. And this technology came from the Department of the Electrical and Computers Engineering. And the other technology that is in left side of my slide is the geological hydrogen production that we licensed it to the company, the startup company Coloma, in 2022. And we continue working with them and helping them to commercialize the technology. And this is very interesting because we have already heard that, okay, we heard that the fuel for the future is hydrogen. But you can imagine, the same way that we have subsurface reservoir for oil and gas, and we drill and we extract the fuel or oil and gas from the subsurface reservoir, we can do the same for hydrogen. So this technology, this is a portfolio of technology, actually has been developed inside Ohio State University in the College of the Art and Science by Dr. Tom Darrow and his team. So these technologies make it happen. And Coloma is a very successful story. So if you want to know more about this type of technologies that are available in the Ohio State University for any type of collaboration, not only licensing or forming the startup companies around them, but also for the research collaboration, you can look at, oh, thank you, Chris, for those information that you are putting in the chat. They are very helpful. Thank you. So you can look at our website, and we have a list of the available technologies that you can just search for those technologies. You can see how they are categorized by the type of the technology. And for example, this is in addition to the resources that Jeff showed you earlier, how you can look for the patents in the Ohio Innovation Exchange website. So you can go directly to Ohio State University website and look for the find for technologies, and you see the list of the available technologies over there, and they are categorized. And if you click on one of those, for example, I click on this one, which is a technology that you can find in that page a brief description of what is the technology, what type of problem it's addressing, and what is the proposed solution, and what are the application for those technologies. And in right hand side of the page, web page, we will find which college this technology belongs to, and who are the inventors or researchers working on the technology. And you will find information about the licensing managers who help the innovators and researchers to take care of their IP portfolio. So for here, you see my colleague Ryan Zinn, who's in charge of helping Dr. Alan Liu through his portfolio. So you can directly, if you are interested, you can directly contact that respective licensing officer and ask for more information. So that's about that. Right now, I am going to take the opportunity here to talk about a few of our technologies that are basically ready to go. When I say ready to go, it's not like it's fully commercial product right now, but it's something that you can consider specifically if you are looking for startup formation, if you are an entrepreneur, or if you are an investor, or if you are looking for something that make impact through the providing a product or service very quickly. So I'm going to start with the portfolio for Dr. Karen Dan Miller. She is in the Department of the Civil and Environmental Engineering, and her expertise is all mostly about the indoor air quality. So I was giving you a couple of examples of our technologies about the CO2 capture. They were all about the environmental remediation in a bigger picture, looking at the atmosphere and how we can absorb the CO2 and the other greenhouse gases from the atmosphere and the air that we are breathing. But we have to make sure that as much as we are paying attention to the atmosphere, we have to pay attention to the indoor air quality as well, which is Dr. Dan Miller is working very seriously on this indoor air quality aspect, which is very important. Specifically, we have faced pandemic. Right now we know how is important to make sure that the air that we are breathing every day is clean, and what is inside this air. So air quality, again, indoor air quality. I'm gonna start with a technology that will give us a method to detect the mold growth inside the buildings. It's very important, especially for us in Ohio, which we are living in the humid environment. Mold growth is very serious. As I mentioned, I used to live in Texas, and in Texas also, in Austin, the environment is humid and warm, and we had mold problem in our building, and it took 3 months for us to make sure that we are mold free inside the building, and we couldn't use half of our house for 3 months. I know how important is it because it's mold brings many other type of the pollutions that for those people they have problems like asthma is very dangerous. So this technology is very effective technology, very easy to basically make a sensor and do the method for detecting the mold growth. The other technology again from Dr. Dan Miller's portfolio is the how we can indicate what is in our indoor environment, what's going on, what type of human microbial respiratory emissions are available inside the building. Again, this is very important. It's the very novel indicator to quantify the presence of microbes from human basically indoor spaces. Especially you think about the schools, you think about the restaurants, you think about the shopping mall, airports, all those type of the environment that people are from different kind of different people from different background and environment, they are there, and all these microbes that we have naturally inside our body, they can be emitted to the environment around us, and because it's indoor environment is very isolated and can be dangerous. And again, another one from Dr. Dan Miller's portfolio is a smartphone detection kit for airborne formaldehyde and allergens. This is important as well because, you know, allergy is big to these days, specifically in spring and in fall. So I have an interesting story here, a very short story. When I started working with Dr. Dan Miller on this technology, and I introduced her to the patent attorney who would be engaged in helping her to file the patent application for this technology, that patent attorney, she told us, this is very helpful because I have a daughter, she has asthma, and when we go to a event or somewhere that there are many people over there, we don't know what type of allergen is there. So if we could have some type of app, very handy things that we can look at and say, okay, these are the level of different allergens in this environment, that would be very helpful for those children. Specifically, she mentioned her own daughter. So, one moment. We talked about indoor air quality, very surface level in the earth. But right now, I'm gonna take you to out there and outdoor and beyond outdoor. So we want to move from indoor to the low Earth orbit. Low Earth orbit basically is up to 1,200 miles above the Earth. So what's going on over there? It's not about the pollution right now, because also we have a big pollution problem right now and in the future because of all those satellites that we have around the orbit. But right now, I want to talk about the positioning and navigation with unknown low Earth orbit satellites. So why it's important? As I mentioned, when we are talking about LEO, which is low Earth orbit, we have 5,000 satellites right now in LEO, and they are all sending and receiving data from the Earth and to the Earth. One ordinary or everyday use of this type of data is our GPS. I'm not talking about the autonomous vehicles yet. We will get to that. But just if we think about the GPS very in detail and scientifically, the information that GPS gives us is not accurate. There are always sometimes a few hundred difference between the real position that we are in it and the position that the GPS shows. So these may not be important for us at the moment, but you imagine if you want to get somewhere very quickly and accurately, like for the emergency responders, it's very important, right? So the technology portfolio that we have from Dr. Zach Cass's lab It's all about the algorithms and software that they can take all this information from different satellites. Doesn't matter which company and who is the provider. Is it private? Is it public? Like you see, I mentioned a few of those type of satellite provider like Orcom, Iridium Next, Starlink, and OneWeb. So they can take all this data, and the algorithm can process all this data very, very accurately and very specific and very reliable for navigating the challenges in environment. Also, this algorithm has the capability to use this information when we don't have the satellite data available. So this algorithm can basically extrapolate the information very accurately. So that's one type of the technologies coming from his lab. The other type of technology that the algorithm that uses this data is when we need to use our autonomous vehicles. Basically, people are talking about in the future, we will use the driverless, vehicles. So how we want to navigate those? Yeah, if they want to go to the straight street, it's fine. But imagine that they cannot distinct the different levels of the information that they get. What does it mean for the autonomous vehicle when we say they cannot distinct different levels? The current technology cannot recognize, for example, if you are in Austin, Texas, and you are driving down to I-35 in Austin, which has 3 different levels, and they say, for example, the GPS says, you want to take exit 212. Okay, so exit 212 is in the first level, and if your car is in autonomous car is in the 3rd level, GPS cannot understand that you are in the 3rd level. You have to go down to 1st level of the road and take the exit 212. The autonomous car just can take out the 3rd level and drop down, because at this moment with this technology that we have, it cannot distinguish different levels of the data they're taking. So Dr. Cass's algorithm has that capability to distinguish and say, yeah, they are different level. So we have to make sure that this vehicle then first change the level and then take the exit. So that's the importance of the technology that he is basically developing in his lab. So again, back to surface. And right now I'm gonna talk about the sensors that can be useful for babies. And I call them smart fabrics. Why? Because this is the technology that is being developed in Dr. Asemina Curti's lab. She is with the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. And in her lab, they are developing different types of the sensors that can be embedded to the fabric, different type of fabric. We have a smart blanket from her lab, we have other things, but the technology that I think is very suitable for the startup here is this automated sensor that can monitor height, weight, temperature, and other type of the scales that we use for the newborn, because they are very important to have accurate measurement to figure out if there is any problem with those children and newborn children. So this is very safe. They are using the electromagnetic fields and these sensors are very comfortable textile sensor. They are wireless. They don't make any interruption to the brain activity, anything. So they can be used for those type of measurement and monitoring those measurements for the small children, for the newborns, and they can be used in different type of applications. Another things from Dr. Curtis lab is the sensor for detecting of hands-on steering wheel, which is very important. And so it's just embedding the sensor on some type of the textile that can be covered, the steering wheel will be covered by that. So it's very helpful. I didn't put any application here because the application is very obvious. So those type of small things that can be manufactured easily. I think this is one of the other ones that is very important if someone is interested to form a startup around it. Okay, so now I want to move to another technology portfolio that Ohio State University is very, very strong in it. So that's our battery portfolio. When we are talking about the battery portfolio, it's not just about the battery as a whole. It's about the components of a battery and different type of the batteries. Is anode, is cathode, is electrolyte, is the whole structure of battery and the sensors, the softwares, all those things that are related to manufacture a battery or increase the life cycle of battery or increase the safety of battery, all those type of the technologies. We have everything in Ohio State University. We have, as I've mentioned, a very good and a strong battery portfolio. So I'm going to start here with Dr. Shiyu Zhang technology, which is basically most usable for grid scale energy storage for renewable energy. So we always talk about the solar energy, wind energy, and different type of the other renewable energy, but how we want to store those energies. I don't know if you lost my screen or not.
No, we can still
Okay.
see your screen just fine.
Okay, great, thank you. So, uh, uh, Dr. Shiyu Zhang's technology is about the large-scale redox flow batteries that they can store the energy that we get from the other type of renewable energy and store it and use it for whenever we need it, basically. So it's for off-grid solution, electric vehicle charging infrastructure, backup power for industrial facilities, and grid-scale energy storage and renewables. And moving from the grid scale to a smaller scale energy storage, we are talking about the EV batteries and method for improving cathode stability in high voltage energy storage devices. So right now we know the big chunk of the price tag for electrical vehicles is the battery cost. So this method is very helpful to bring down the cost for the batteries. So it's just about the cathode. You know, as I mentioned, we have cathode, anode, electrolyte, and the other components. So the Dr. Jung-Hyun Kim work is mostly about the cathode and different composition of the cathode that can improve the specific energy and life cycle and reduce the cobalt content of EV batteries, you know, the lithium and cobalt, those type of the elements they have their own problems, environmental problems, and other type of problems. So this one is a good one here. And the other one from Dr. Jung-Hyun Kim's lab is about the manufacturing of the method for the manufacture of the electrode, basically, how the thick electrode should be manufactured and engineered without cracks and help to transport the material from the manufacturing plant to the plant that they want to use it. So it's again the manufacturing part is very important, and this technology is basically a method for preparing high energy electrode that again another very important and novel technology in battery industry. And moving from cathode, I want to quickly go through the Dr. Anko's, one of Dr. Anko's technologies. You may know Dr. Anko got a big ARPA grant last year to work on the fast charge anode electrode, basically. And but this one is related to the fuel cell, and it's a catalyst for fuel cell that is that can help for another future renewable and clean energy source, which is the fuel cell. And it's low cost and it's cleaner and also is high efficiency. And the material cost is very low in this type of the fuel cells. And the other technology from Dr. Anko's lab is ultra-fast charging lithium-ion battery anode. As I've mentioned about the ARPA-E project, this is being developed based on the existing IP from her lab, plus they are generating new IPs. And the beauty of this interaction for this technology is her lab is working closely with Honda, and Honda is the industrial partner for this ARPA-E project, and so they are developing the technology in the partnership. This is very, very important because Honda needs this technology, and they can provide us the right specification that they need for their batteries for their electric vehicles. So with that, I would like to finish today's presentation, and I would like to mention that this is all about the introduction to what's going on in innovation and commercialization inside Ohio State University. So if you are interested to getting more information, we are happy to contact you, be connected, and you can connect with me directly, or you can reach out to David Mess, our director for licensing, or my colleagues Ryan Zinn and Devinder Randava. They are helping our innovators with their IP portfolio, and they can help you with more detailed information about the portfolio that they are managing. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm happy to take if there is any questions. And thank you, Chris. You loaded, and Jeff, you loaded all information here.
I
Well,
tried to
thank you.
keep up.
That was fantastic, and we'll give you a break because you just went through a ton of fantastic information. And so, Jeff, I'm happy to maybe kick off with one question and then hand it over to you if you have one. But our first one, and thanks to Paul Reeder. Paul, good to see you in here. But first question to come in our noisy climate of technology licensing and startups, Paul is always curious about how the active outbound marketing efforts for university technologies and how those might, perhaps it sounds like, attract maybe the entrepreneurial side for all that is happening and that industry education connection. So if you don't mind talking a bit about that, please.
Sure. Hi, Paul. Good to see you here. So, yeah, we do have our marketing channels. Basically, we work with, so our licensing officer, they are leading our marketing, and we have different type of basically buckets for our IP portfolio. For those are suitable for startup or for the direct marketing, as I've mentioned, but we always are happy to get more help. Specifically, Paul, I know you are very interested in entrepreneurial activities, and you have a great network of entrepreneurial people and basically the business leader. I will be happy to connect with your network, and I will be happy to present to your network and to you if you can just present those to those people who are interested. So I can talk about it for hours, you know me. So, but yeah, I will be happy to connect directly to talk about that with you, Paul. And if any other of our audience, they are interested to knowing more about our IP portfolio and the potentials that we have in our IP portfolio.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Mandana. And thank you so much. It's such an inspiring talk today. So thank you so much for sharing all the great things that are happening at the university and beyond. So Michael Fruling asked a question about, one assumes that via AI, you could, quote, connect the dots between platform companies that publish technology challenges and needs and your technology offerings. Have you considered doing this? Before I turn it over to Madonna, I just wanted to pass along that we are working with our vendor with the Innovation Exchange. We work with a company out of the UK called Symplectic. And we're actually looking at some technologies around the use of AI to help drive the matching of faculty profiles with technology terms that industry uses and vice versa. So some of that translation. But yeah, Mandana, I don't know if you want to take that question about using AI to connect the dots.
Yeah, we use kind of our in-house developed AI tool for that, but we will be happy to connect with you or whoever that is interested, because we look for partners, partners to help us for the marketing, and specifically marketing and the commercialization of our technologies, because our resource is very limited. So we have many type of things to take care of in our innovation and commercialization office. As I mentioned at the beginning of my slide, I showed you the process. The process is time-taking, labor-intensive, but we would welcome any help if there is any, and we can talk to it.
Thank you. And then there's another question from Matthew, and I'm going to mispronounce his name. I apologize. It's Schonauer, I think. But it's about, curious to know whether you have any insights about how the internal IP assets are transferred to outside counsel. Do you look for anything in particular during that process?
Outside counsel, you mean, maybe I need a clarification here. The people, you mean the law firm who are filing the patent application for us?
Yeah, Matthew
Yes.
said yes. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, we already have a handful of the law firms that we work with them, and those law firms are very well known, and that's interesting because, as I've mentioned, I work with different universities, and it seems all these universities almost use the same law firms. So it's kind of, yeah, we do have our connect network of the law firm, but if you have anything specific, any specific specialty, we will be happy to connect and talk through it. Why not?
Really good. So I just have one question as we're going through. And Mandana, since you have all this multi-state experience of working in the tech transfer process, could you talk about if someone outside the state of Ohio wanted to license the technology and how that may or may not be different in terms of the regulations and things?
Okay, so there is not any differences between where you are located. We always are open to license our technology, not only nationwide, but also internationally. So we have companies that they license the technologies from Ohio State University and other US universities. They are located in Australia, they are located in Taiwan, or the companies inside the Europe. So no problem with that. There might be a little here or there, the contractual language that based on the law of each state, that might be different, but we always can talk through it and we can find a middle ground to make sure that everyone is happy.
Excellent. Yep, I figured that was the case, but it's good to explain that. We won't ask the question about tariffs because no one knows what that means. So we'll just.
No, I don't know that. I know just about the technology and commercialization of the technology.
There you go. There you go. Well, other questions that folks might have, or Chris, did you want to pick up any others?
Sure. A lot of great, one question, a lot of great content, resources, information. I learned, some of the Ohio companies you mentioned, Asset Watch. I didn't know that would be coming, but I know Will Zell and the founding team there that are making that possible. And so love to see some of those Ohio stories. And we did drop some of the media articles, tens of millions of dollars of venture capital dollars. And so that's kind of inspiring this question of, a lot of entrepreneurs, maybe don't necessarily, have relationships. They maybe haven't done this process before, but a lot of great insight and information from today. What would maybe be like one key takeaway you would hope someone from this conversation, or just in general, that if they're an entrepreneur looking maybe for their first contact when they reach out to you or some of your colleagues, what information, what questions should they come armed with so they can make the most of trying to piece this entrepreneurial side with the kind of the research side together?
Right, so that's a great question because we always are looking for people who have their entrepreneurial mindset and but they don't know where to start. They have a general idea of that we are interested to start something that makes impact, but we don't know how. So the first step is contacting me or any of my colleagues that I mentioned in this presentation at the last slide for those general questions. But if they know what they are looking for, if they look at our list of the technology and they found the technology that is interested and they don't know how to connect with the inventors and where to start, then they can reach out to me or either the licensing manager who's working with that inventor directly. So we are always open to build the connection and the bridge between our innovators and the entrepreneurs outside the university.
I just put your email in there, Mandana, so folks can find you.
Sure.
Well, great. So really exciting. It's always exciting to see the possibilities and the potential that these technologies have, but getting them into the marketplace, I know, takes tremendous work and effort. So, yeah.
Sure, yeah. So I'm glad that I had this opportunity today. Again, thank you, Jeff and Chris, for providing this opportunity for us to present a little bit of what's going on in the innovation and commercialization inside the Ohio State University, and look for more connection and partnership in future.
That sounds great. Well, Jeff, any final comments from the Ohio Innovation Exchange before we do start to wrap up for this conversation?
I just want folks to know that we're constantly improving. We work with the vendor to enhance search and the way data are organized in the database. So if you haven't visited it before, or if it's just your first time, you're going to see new features and functions all the time. We enjoy up to 25,000 page views every month from across the globe. I think when we first got started, we thought this was an Ohio or regional type initiative, but it is absolutely international. And it's a tremendous resource for the state of Ohio when we're telling Ohio's story. It's a way to bolster economic development and lift up our faculty across our institutions. And it's just a tremendous tool for medium, small, large companies to kind of shop around and see what's available and look for that. So thanks for the opportunity to talk about it.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. And yeah, Minda, if you have any final...
Yeah, I have one more point here. I've seen in the audience participants list some of our great faculty members and innovators inside the Ohio State University that I haven't had the chance to present their ideas here, but I really encourage them to continue their innovative work and be in touch with us and disclose their invention disclosure to us. We do our best to help them to take their technology from lab to the market.
Fantastic. And that's a great way to end it. And also do appreciate is all the chats and the questions that come in. I always love when to see those kind of rolling through. And as TJ Richardson says, go Buckeyes and go Team Ohio. So that's probably a good endpoint for us. But thank you everyone for joining us, participating. And again, thanks to our partners at the Ohio Innovation Exchange and Ohio State University for really doing the hard work and putting Ohio on the map globally, as you just mentioned, Jeff. So thanks everyone for joining today. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to talking to you all soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks again, Chris. Take care. Bye.
Bye.